Hello and welcome. We are waiting on Google to begin the Live from Paris stream. If you haven't been following the news, I'm just going to share a different tab while we wait for them. So there was a little bit of music playing, and now that's stopped. And it is past now. So it should be starting any minute now. But in the meantime, I'm just going to fill you in on what's been going on in the world of search, which obviously will affect SEO and really anyone with a website that has been trying to come up in search results as part of their targeting and their marketing plans. So first of all, we're going to talk about Bing. And so the word on the street is that Bing are back in the game, which in itself is incredibly interesting. And I mean, I don't like saying a know-it-all kind of thing. But I did have a feeling that this year could be the year that we would see a bit more even play in the market, meaning not so Google dominated. In a similar way to WordPress, WordPress is the CMS, and over the years they've kind of now have competitors that are taking that certain amount of market share away, and you end up having more choice as a consumer. And as an SEO, of course, you would have potentially more choice in search engines and what you're attempting to rank websites in. And those websites would have traffic coming from multiple different search engines. Now, if Bing can manage it, at least we have two. So I remember I did a poll on this on Twitter a while back, and the majority of SEOs would rather see Google be less dominated with my small poll. And I think that makes sense for a lot of reasons. If something, went wrong with Google, something's happening. I'm just going to reduce the volume a little. So if something went wrong with Google, it's good that you still have a lot of traffic coming from another search engine, which may be Bing. So I'm just going to unmute.
Now, we're here in France, the birthplace of several giants of science and mathematics: Blaise Pascal, Pierre de Fermat, Joseph Fourier, to name just a few on whose shoulders computer scientists stand today. And for those on the live stream, we're coming to you from Google Paris, home of one of our premier AI research centers, and less than 5
Did not know
kilometers
that.
from the final resting place of Pascal, my favorite mathematician. What a fitting
AI
place
is
to talk about the next
all about
frontier
maths,
for our information
all based on
products
maths.
and how AI is powering that future. Our very first founder's letter said
And
that our goal
the
at
people
Google
they want to hire for
is to
AI are
significantly
the
improve
best
the lives of
mathematicians.
as many people as possible. That's why our products have a singular focus: to be helpful to you in moments big and small. Think about Google
It's
Search,
giving me Facebook
which will
vibes.
celebrate its 25th birthday
We're
today,
here to connect people.
this year. Search was built on
He seems a
breakthroughs
little
in
nervous.
language understanding. That's why we can take a complex
This is a
conversational
big,
query like
big deal.
delicious-looking flaky French pastry in the shape of a heart and help you identify exactly what you're looking for. But we didn't stop there. Through our ongoing investments in AI, we can now understand information in its many forms, from language to images and videos, even the real world. With this deeper understanding, we're moving beyond the traditional notion of search to help you make sense of information in new ways. So now you can simply take a picture with Lens to instantly learn that heart-shaped pastry is a palmier cookie. Our advancements in AI are also why, if you need to fix your bike
Image
chain,
search is
you
incredible,
can
very
get
powerful.
directed to the exact point in a video that's relevant to you, like when they're showing you how to put the chain back on. If you're shopping for a new accent chair, You can see it from all angles, write on search in 3D, and place it in your living room with AR, augmented reality, to see how it looks. Or if you pop out of the metro in an unfamiliar city, you can find arrows overlaid in Google Maps on the real world, pointing you to walk in the right direction. All these examples are a far cry from the early days of search, but as we always say, search will never be a solved problem. Although we are almost 25 years in, search is still our biggest moonshot. The thing is, that moon keeps moving.
It does very quickly.
Remains elusive because two things are constantly changing. First, how people expect to engage with information naturally and intuitively.
This started with TikTok.
And second, how technology can empower that experience. And so we're creating new search experience that work more like our minds, that reflect how we as people naturally make sense of the world. As we enter this new era of search, you'll be able to understand information, no matter what language it originated in, search anyway and anywhere, be it on your screen or to explore the real world, and express yourself and unlock your creativity in new ways. Let's start with understanding information. We've seen time and time again that access to information empowers people. But for centuries, information was largely confined to the language it was created or spoken in, and only accessible to people who understand that language. With Google Translate, we can break down language barriers and unlock information regardless of the language of its origin. Over 1 billion people around the world today use Translate across 133 languages to understand conversations, online information, and the real world. For example, Translate has been a lifeline to help those displaced from Ukraine adjust to daily life in new countries. In the war's early days, Ukrainian Google Translate queries grew in Polish, German, and other European languages as Ukrainians seeking refuge turned to it for critical information in their language. We recently added 33 new languages to Translate's offline mode, including Corsican, Latin, and Yiddish, to name just a few. So even if you're somewhere without access to the internet, you'll get the translation help you need. And soon, we'll bring you a richer, more intuitive way to translate words that have multiple meanings and translations. So that whether you're trying to buy a new novel or celebrate a novel idea,
a while back,
you have the context you need.
We were told as well that Google may return searches that are not necessarily from, your language or your country, and they'll be able to translate it.
Language divide. To bring the power of Translate to even more languages, we use zero-shot machine translation, an advanced AI technique that learns to translate.
AI. Take a shot every time he says AI.
Without ever seeing translation pairs. Thanks to zero-shot machine translation, we've added 24 new languages to Translate this past year. In total, over 300 million people speak these newly added languages. That's roughly the equivalent of bringing translation to the entire United States. Well, languages are the heart of how we communicate as people. Another important way we make sense of information.
I like that they went straight into the presentation.
Fond of saying, your camera
and didn't do the weird, dancing on stage.
Back in 2017, we redefined what it means to search by introducing Lens. So you can search what you see with your camera for photos. We've since brought Lens directly to the search bar, and we've continued to bring you new capabilities like shopping within an image and step-by-step homework help.
I literally used image search. I rarely use it.
A major new milestone.
But I wanted to identify a tree in my garden, and it works. It's very powerful.
10 billion times a month. This signals that visual search has moved from a novelty to reality. And as we predict,
10 billion
the age of visual search.
Visual searches a month.
In the context of translation,
is it a month?
Understanding isn't just about the languages we use. It's also about the visuals we see. Often, it's the words with context, like background images, that create meaning. And so in Lens, A new advancement helps you translate the whole picture, not just the text in it. Before, when translating text in an image, we'd block part of the background. Now, instead of covering the text, we erase it, recreate the pixels underneath with an AI-generated background,
What?
and then overlay the translated text back on top of the image, all as if it was part of the original picture.
What?
I'm pleased to share that this is now rolling out globally on Android mobile, so you can use Lens
What?
to start translating text into context. As you can see with Lens, we want to connect you to the world's information
This is
one
crazy.
visual at a time. We're continuing to build upon these capabilities, so I'll now turn to Liz to share more. Liz?
Oh, music. I'm just going to mute that until the music stops.
You can already use Lens to search from your camera or photos right from the search bar. But we're introducing a major update to help you search what's on your mobile screen. In the coming months, you'll be able to use Lens to search what you see in photos or videos across the websites and apps you know and love on Android. For example, let's say you get a message from your friend who sent a video exploring Paris. You'd like to learn what the landmark is that you see in the video.
I don't think we're going to get a major
Press the power
announcement
button on your phone,
today,
bring up Google Assistant, and tap Search Screen.
like Bing
Assistant connects you to
announced
Lens,
that they
which
are
identifies it
integrating
as Luxembourg Palace, and you can tap
their
to learn
version
more.
of
Pretty
ChatGPT,
awesome,
or
huh?
it's ChatGPT but
Think
better,
about it like this.
into their
With
search
Lens,
results.
If you can
Are we
see
going
it,
to
you
get
can search it.
that today
As
from
Prabhakar
Google?
touched upon sometimes, it's the combination of words and images that communicate meaning.
Hard to say.
That's why last year we introduced Multisearch in Lens. With Multisearch, you can search with a picture and a text together, opening up entirely new ways to express yourself. Say you see a stylish chair, but you wanted a more muted color to match your style. You can use Multisearch to find it in beige or another color of yours. Or you spot a floral pattern shirt, but you want it in bleu rouge instead. You can use Multisearch for that too.
We
Let's
have
see how
seen
that works
this
with a live demo.
type of functionality.
We are missing the phone.
Always going to happen with live events. What can go wrong will go wrong.
We have no. Okay, we're gonna move on. We can't find the phone.
Oh no.
Sorry, we'll do one later in the special Q&A. Okay, so what you can do is you can spot a cool pattern on the notebook, but then you can swipe up to see the text and be able to search on the search box, letting you find something like a rug if you just typed in tapis. Or you can find wallpaper, similar. Okay. This unique ability allows us to mix modalities like images and text, and it opens up a whole world of possibilities.
Are they
And you
going
can
to talk
imagine a
about
future where
Bard?
even more modalities are at play.
Google's
I'm excited to share that Multisearch is now
chat.
officially live globally on mobile. And that
I
means
feel
Multisearch is now available in over 70
maybe
languages
they are, but
that Lens is in.
it would have
around the
suited
world.
the first speaker.
We've taken Multisearch a step further by adding the ability to search locally on mobile in the US.
And he didn't go into
You
it.
can take a picture or screenshot of a food dish or item and add near me to find where to get it nearby from the millions of businesses on Google. In the next few
That
months,
I love.
we'll bring Multisearch near me to all the languages and countries for which Lens is available to. So you'll be able to use near me if you want to support a neighborhood business or if you just need to pick something up right away. There are also times when you're already searching and you find something.
Let me know if the
catches
audio
your
sounds
eye
okay.
and inspires you. So in the next few months, you'll be able to use Multisearch globally for any image you see on the search results page on mobile. Once you start using Multisearch, it's striking how natural it feels to be able to use multiple senses to search. I hope you give it a try. And with that, back to Prabhakar.
Okay. Some stuff we kind of already had. Nothing
Thank you,
major
Liz.
to me
We'll
on
have to figure out
images.
who stole your phone.
Now this could be the guy.
So far today, we've talked about how AI is helping us more deeply understand the world's information so we can help you access it more naturally. But we only scratched the surface of what's possible with AI.
Here we go,
We've long
potentially.
been pioneers in this space, not just in our research, but also in how we bring those breakthroughs to the world.
I'm
and
not
our
ready.
products in a responsible way. We've made significant contributions to the scientific community, like developing the transformer, which set the stage for much of the generative AI activity we see today. And we're committed to continuing to bring these technologies to the world in a responsible way that benefits everyone. This is the journey we've been on with large language models, which can make engaging with technology more natural.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Back at I/O in 2021, we unveiled our Lambda AI model, a breakthrough in conversational technology.
Bard.
Next, we're bringing Lambda to an experimental conversational AI service, which we fondly call Bard. You'll be able to interact with Bard to explore complex topics, collaborate in real time, and get new ideas. For example, let's say you're in the market for a new car, one that's a good fit for your family. Bard can help you think through different angles to consider, from budget to safety and more, and simplify and make sense of them. Bard's suggestion to consider fuel type might spark your curiosity. So you can ask it to explain the pros and cons of buying an electric car and get helpful insights. And we all know that once you buy a new car, you'll have to plan a road trip. Bard can help you plan your road trip so you can take your new car out for a spin.
This is it.
You might ask
Note in the screenshots, we do not see attribution.
And fun things to do.
And this is going to be a sticking point.
Bard seeks to combine the breadth of the world's knowledge.
Bing's model, on the other hand, does
and creativity
show links underneath to attribute the AI generated content back to where it was kind of, let's say, inspired from.
We're releasing Bard initially with our lightweight model version of Lambda. This much smaller model needs significantly less computing power, which means we'll be able to scale it to more users and get more feedback. We just took our next big step by opening Bard up to trusted testers this week.
Yep.
We'll continue to use feedback from internal and external testing to make sure it meets the high bar, our high bar for quality, safety.
They are under pressure
before we launch it more broadly.
They're under pressure because Microsoft made their announcement.
Curiosity is endless, and for
so
many
Google
years,
is
we've helped remove roadblocks
pinned to the collar at the moment for this.
So you can follow your curiosity wherever it takes you, from learning more about a topic to understanding a variety of viewpoints. People often turn to Google for quick, factual answers, like what is a constellation? Already today, we give you fast answers for straightforward queries.
Featured snippet.
But for many questions, there is no one right answer.
Featured snippet typically gives a link back to the website.
Queries. Questions like, what are the best constellations to look for when stargazing? For questions like those, you probably want to explore a diverse range of opinions or perspectives and be connected to the expansive wisdom of the web. That's why we bring in the magic of generative AI directly to your search results. So soon, if you ask, what are the best constellations to look for when stargazing? New generative AI features will help us organize complex information and multiple viewpoints right in search results. With this, you'll be able to quickly understand the big picture and then go on to explore different angles. So say this new information on constellations piques your interest. You can dig deeper, for instance, to learn what time of year is best to see them and explore further on the web. Open access to information is core to our mission. We know people seek authentic voices and diverse perspectives. As we scale these new generative AI
under AI
like this in our search results, we'll continue to prioritize approaches that will allow us to send valuable traffic to a wide range of creators and support a healthy, open web.
Okay, good.
In fact, we've sent more traffic to the web every year, each year, than the year prior. The potential for generative AI goes far beyond language.
They're going to have to incorporate attribution
earlier, one of the
for
most
that.
natural ways people engage with information is visually. With
Credits,
generative AI,
basically.
We can already automate 360-degree spins of sneakers from just a handful of still photos, something that would have previously required merchants to use hundreds of product photos
Yeah.
and costly technology.
Their tools are incredible.
As we look ahead, you could imagine how generative AI might enable people to interact with visual information in entirely new ways. They might help a local baker collaborate on a cake design with a client, or a toy maker dream up a new creation. They might help someone envision what their kitchen looks like, but with green cabinets instead of wood, or describe and find the perfect complementary pocket square to match a new blazer. In our quest to make search more natural and intuitive, we've gone from enabling you to search with text, to voice, to images, to a combination of modalities, like you saw with Multisearch today that Liz talked about. As we continue to bring generative AI technologies into our products, the only limit to search will be your imagination. Beyond our own products, it's important to make it easy, safe, and scalable for others to benefit from these advances.
API.
Next month, we'll start onboarding developers,
Good. This
creators,
is
and enterprises so they can try a generative language API
this is very the
easily
culture
powered with
of
Llama,
Google
with a range
for
of
this kind
models
of thing.
to follow. Over time,
That's good.
we'll create a suite of tools and APIs to make it easy for others to build applications with AI. From Bard to the new AI-powered features in search to image generation, APIs, and beyond.
Someone taking a photo.
It's critical that we bring these experiences rooted in the models to the world responsibly.
Yeah, responsible. This is why
That's why we've been
ChatGPT
focusing on
works,
responsible AI
because it
since the
actually
very
has
beginning.
ethical guidelines built in, and
We were one of the
anytime
first companies to articulate
AI has
principles.
been released without that,
We're also embracing the
it
opportunity
has gone
to work with
terribly, and they've
creative
had to
communities and partners
emergency
to
stop
develop these
those
tools.
projects.
AI will
So
be the most
ethics
profound way to expand
guidelines
access to high-quality information
built into the AI
and
are very,
improve the
very
lives
important.
of people around the world. We're committed to setting the high standard on how to bring it to people in a way that's both bold and responsible. So far, you've seen how we are applying state-of-the-art AI
I
technology
dare say some
to help you
timelines have
understand the world's
shortened,
information
though.
across languages and modalities.
They are
AI is also
under
making it
pressure.
far more natural to make sense of and explore the real world, like with Google Maps. Over to Chris to share more. Come on up, Chris.
I'm just going to mute the music.
Thanks, Prabhakar. For 18 years, Google Maps has transformed how people make sense of the world. It's a valuable tool for over 1 billion people, helping them avoid traffic jams on the way to work, find restaurants in a new city, and so much more. And the latest
Nothing beats
advancements in
Google
AI and
Maps.
computer vision are powering the next generation of Google Maps, making it more immersive and sustainable than ever before. Let me show you what I mean. Before Google Maps, getting directions meant physically printing them out on a piece of paper. But Google Maps
We're going back a long time,
reimagined
guys.
what a map could be,
Or asking
bringing
someone
live
out your
traffic
window.
and helpful information about places right to your phone. Now, we're
How did we live?
transforming Google
How,
Maps
how
once
did we
again,
get anywhere?
evolving our 2D map into a multi-dimensional view of the real world that comes alive, starting with Immersive View. Immersive View is a brand new way to explore that's far more natural and intuitive. It uses AI to fuse billions of street view and aerial images to create a rich digital model of the world, letting you truly experience a place before you step inside. Let's take a look at the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. If you're considering a visit, you can virtually soar over the building, finding the entrances, and get a sense of what's in the area.
Not great for
With the
banks.
time slider, you can see what it looks like at different times of the day and what the weather will be, so you know when you visit. To help you avoid crowds, we want to point out areas that tend to be busy.
I love this
So you have
feature
all the
in Maps.
information you need to confidently make a decision about where to go. If you're hungry, you can explore different restaurants in the neighborhood. You can even glide down the street, peek inside it, and understand the vibe before you book a reservation. This stunning, photorealistic indoor view is powered by neural radiance fields. It's an advanced AI technique that uses 2D images to generate a highly accurate 3D representation.
It's such a great
that
feature.
recreates the entire context of a place. including its lighting, the texture of materials, and what's in the background. You can also see if
Very
a
useful
restaurant's
for
lighting is good for a date
like
night,
dentists and
or
stuff.
if the outdoor view at a
If someone's
cafe is
nervous
the right place for lunch with friends.
and they just want to know, like,
Immersive view
what's it going to be
represents
like when I go in? Because some people
completely
really
new way
have
to
that
interact
phobia.
with the map. Using all the detailed information in Google Maps today
Great for local
and
business.
visualizing it in a more intuitive way. We're excited that Immersive View starts rolling out today in London, Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, and Tokyo. And we're bringing it to more European cities like Amsterdam, Dublin, Florence, and Venice in the coming months. Immersive View is just one example of how artificial intelligence
They
is
do have a
powering more
similar
visual
thing. I'm
and
not sure what the
intuitive
difference is, but where you can
It
hire
also
a
helps us
special photographer
reimagine
that knows
you
how to
find
do
places when you're on the go.
this type of image as
You
well.
heard Prabhakar talk about how your camera is the new keyboard, and that's also true for the map. Search with Live View uses AI paired with augmented reality to help you visually find things nearby, like ATMs, restaurants, and transit hubs, just by lifting up your phone. We've recently launched Search with Live View.
That feels like it could be really good for
Paris.
people
In the
with
coming
difficulty
months,
seeing
we'll start
or
expanding it to
navigating,
more
or,
places
well, not
like
just navigating,
Barcelona,
but
Dublin, and
maybe
Madrid.
physically difficult to
Let's head outside to where Rachel will
find
show us how it works.
whatever thing you're going for.
Over to you, Rachel.
Thanks, Chris.
Oh,
I'm out here scoping out the neighborhood. Whenever I come to a new city, I'm always on the hunt for great coffee. So let's see what I can find. Tapping on the camera icon.
it's so brave
Search bar.
to do
To
this
see coffee shops, as well as other categories
at
of
a live
places
event.
like
That is cool.
restaurants, bars, and stores. I can even see places that are out of my field of view. So I'm really able to get a sense of what this neighborhood has to
That's
offer at a
great.
glance. But let's look at coffee shops specifically because I really need some caffeine. All right, so it looks like we have a few good coffee options right around here. I'm able to see if these places are open, if they're busy right now, and if they're highly rated.
For local
This looks
businesses
pretty good, so I'm gonna
that might be
tap on it to
watching,
learn more.
make sure
All right.
you are on top of your Google
Okay, this
Business
looks pretty
Places
good.
listing.
It has a high star rating. This looks really tasty and cute. All right, and it's not too busy right now, so I'm gonna head over there and grab an espresso. Back to you, Chris.
Wow. Thanks, Rachel.
Cough top.
As you can see, pairing our AI with AR is transforming how we interact with the world. Augmented reality can be especially helpful when navigating tricky places indoors, like airports, train stations, and shopping centers. We launched Indoor Live View in select cities to help you do just that. It uses AR arrows to help you find things like nearest elevators, baggage claim, and food courts. Today, we're excited to announce that we're embarking on the largest expansion of Indoor Live View to date. We're bringing it to 1,000 new venues in cities like Berlin, London, New York, Tokyo, and right here in Paris.
I don't see
in the
Dublin.
coming months. Today, you've seen how the future of maps is becoming more visual and immersive, but we're also making it more sustainable. It's all about helping people make the sustainable choice the easy choice. We
Sustainability
recently launched
is important for every business, including Google,
to help you choose the most
especially
efficient,
Google
energy
and
efficient route to your destination.
large corporations.
Whether
like
you
that.
drive a petrol, diesel, electric, or hybrid vehicle. And as we're seeing more drivers embrace electric vehicles,
About
we're
30
launching
minutes in
new
now.
Maps features for EVs with Google built in to make sure you have enough charge, no matter where you're headed. First, to help alleviate range anxiety, we'll use AI to suggest the
Range
best charging
anxiety.
stop, whether you're taking a road trip
New
or
term.
just running errands.
Clinical
nearby.
term.
We'll factor in traffic, charge level, and the energy consumption of your trip. If you're in a rush, we'll help you find stations where you can charge.
Okay, I take it back.
quickly
That's very
with
good.
our new very fast charging filter. For many cars,
That's
this can
very
give you
good.
enough
I now
power
believe
to
in
fill
range
up and
anxiety
get back
because
on the road in less than 40 minutes.
that is a
Lastly,
good problem
we're making
solved.
it easier to see when places like supermarkets have charging stations on site with a new EV icon. So if you're on your way to pick
Again,
up groceries,
be on top of your
you can
Google
choose a
Business
store
Places
that also
listing.
lets you charge your car.
Just search your business in
Look
Google
out
and
for
you
these
should
maps
see
features in the coming months for
all
cars
the
with Google
buttons
built
for
in,
managing and
wherever
editing should
EV
come up
charging is
directly
available.
on the search result page.
To help drivers make the shift to electric vehicles, we're focused on creating great EV experiences across all of our products. For instance, in Waze, we'll soon be making it easy for drivers to specify their EV plug types so they can find the right charging station along their route. But we're not just focused on driving. In many places, people are choosing more sustainable options like walking, biking, or taking transit.
True.
On Google Maps, we're making it even simpler to get around with new glanceable directions. For example, when you're walking, you can track your journey right from your route overview. It's perfect for those times when you need to see your path. We'll give you easy access
I feel like
to
I've used
updated
this.
ETAs and show you where to make the next turn. Information that was previously only available by using our comprehensive navigation mode.
Yes.
Multiple directions start rolling out globally on Android and iOS in the
I
coming
must
months.
have done it through that
Making a
comprehensive
global impact
thing.
requires everyone to come together, including cities, people, and businesses. That's why we've worked with cities for years to provide key insights through Environmental Insights Explorer, or EIE, a free platform designed to help cities measure emissions. The
I have
Dublin
snacks
City
because
Council has been using
this might go
EIE
for a while.
to analyze
Boom.
bicycle usage across the city and implement smart transportation policies. And in Copenhagen, we're using Street View cars to measure hyperlocal air quality with Project AirView. With this data, the city is designing low emission zones and exploring ways to build schools and playgrounds away from high pollution areas. These are just a few ways that AI is helping us reimagine the future of Google Maps, making it more immersive and sustainable for both people and cities around the world. And now I'll turn it over to Marcia to talk about the work we're doing in Europe with Google Arts and Culture.
I am muting for music. They're bringing it back to Marcia.
Thank you, Chris. It's exciting to see how Google Maps keeps getting more helpful. For the past decade, our daily work at Google Arts and Culture has also been about finding new pathways, specifically those at the intersection of technology and culture. Together with our 3,000 partners from over 80 countries, we brought dinosaurs to life in virtual reality, digitized and preserved the famed Timbuktu manuscripts, recrafted a destroyed Mayan limestone staircase, and found a way for us humans to find our four-legged friend's doppelganger in famous artworks. As for the latter,
Wow.
at least one of Chris's dogs apparently spent previous life in Renaissance Venice. Perhaps you might also have heard of our work through our popular art selfie feature, which helped over 200 million people
This
find
is the
their
thing with
doppelganger in famous artworks.
Bing versus Google.
But what you probably didn't know
The
is that
data
our
set
selfie was actually the first on-device
that Google
AI
has
application
access
from
to.
Google, and we have applied AI to cultural pursuits in our Google
That
Arts
it can
and Culture
apply
Lab in
AI
Paris
to.
for over 5 years.
I think it's difficult
So
for
today
anybody,
I'd like
even
to show
Bing,
you what artificial
to compete
intelligence
with
in the
that
hands of
data set.
creatives and cultural experts can achieve. For our first example, I would like to welcome the blobs to the digital stage.
Aw.
Thank you, blobs. Now, some of you might recognize the hallmarks of good opera right away: bass, tenor, mezzo-soprano, and soprano. And if you aren't familiar with the world of opera singing, this experiment, created in collaboration with artist David Lee, is for you and will be your gateway to learn more.
It's beautiful.
For Blob Opera, we teamed up with 4 professional opera singers whose voices trained a neural network, essentially teaching the AI algorithm how to sing and harmonize. So when you conduct the blobs to create your very own opera, what you hear aren't the voices of the opera singers, but instead the neural network's interpretation of what opera singing sounds like. Give it a try and join many people from around the world who have spent over
This is crazy.
million
Again, I still have the attribution
in
thing in my
playful
head
AI
though.
experiment to learn about opera. As you've seen and heard, AI can create new and even playful ways.
They're singing, but they were trained on
culture,
specific voices.
But it can also be applied to preserve intangible
Should those
heritage.
voices
As Prabhakar shared
be attributed,
earlier,
be credited?
language and translation tools is a
when it comes to text, it's a bit more clear, but
information more accessible to everyone. But I was surprised to learn that out of the 7,000 languages spoken on Earth, more than 3,000 are currently under threat of disappearing. Amongst them, Maori, Louisiana Creole, Sanskrit, and Calabrian Greek. To support these communities in preserving and sharing their languages, we created an easily usable language preservation tool called Woolaroo, which, by the way, is the word for photo in the Aboriginal language of a Yagambeh. So how does it work?
Woolaroo.
Once you open Woolaroo in your mobile phone's browser, select one of the 17 languages currently featured, and just take a photo of your surroundings. Woolaroo, with the help of AI-powered object recognition, will then try to identify what is in the frame and match it against its growing library of words. For me, this tool is special because it shows how AI can help to make a tangible difference for communities and real people, like the ones shown here, in their struggle to preserve their unique heritage. Now let's have a look of AI in the service of cultural institutions and how it can help uncover what has been lost or overlooked. Women on the forefront of science have often not received proper credit or acknowledgement for their
This is very true.
To take another step to rectify this, we teamed up with researchers at the Smithsonian American Women's History Initiative and developed an experimental AI-driven research tool that, first, compares archival records across history by connecting different nodes in the metadata. Secondly, it's able to identify women scientists on variations in their name, because sometimes they have to do things like use their husband's name in a publication. And third, it's capable of analyzing image records to cluster and recover female contributors. The initial results have been extremely promising, and we can't wait to apply this technology to uncover even more accomplishments of women in science. Preserving cultural heritage online is core to our mission. We work hard to ensure that the knowledge and treasures provided by our cultural partners show up where it's of most benefit.
Again,
when people are searching online.
Google have sometimes treaded on toes
the most successful, yet
with this type of work.
Female painter of the Baroque period.
Indexing,
You'll be able to
you know,
her many
library
of her
books,
artworks, including self-portrait of St. Catherine, that
essentially,
has been provided by our
it goes
the
into,
National
again, a
Gallery
gray
of
area
London
in the kind of
high
more
resolution.
copyright,
When you click on it, you'll be able to zoom
attribution,
into the brush
credit
stroke level to see all the rich detail of the work. You'll never be able to get that close in the museum. What's more, you are actually able to bring this and many other artworks right into your home. Just click on the View in Augmented Reality button on your mobile phone to teleport Artemisia's masterpiece in its
Pity
original
you can't sell it,
size
though.
right in front of you.
Can't
But
sell it,
culture
but
doesn't stop at
you can
classical
pretend.
art. So keep your eyes open for a variety of 3D and augmented reality assets provided by cultural institutions.
I reckon
besides the
the
Webb Space
kind of
Telescope,
host or the
is one of the
original
most
speaker that was
popular
speaking
theories
more
for
about
students, the periodic table,
Bard,
which I'm happy to announce will triple the number of available
I would be
languages to
surprised if he
include
didn't
French,
make some
Spanish,
reappearance
German,
before
and
they
more
finish
in the
up.
coming weeks.
We're nearly 40 minutes
3D
in now.
and AR models in Google search really unlock people's curiosity. And in the past year alone, we've seen an 8x increase in people engaging with AR models contributed by Google Arts and Culture partners to explore and learn. Those are just some of the examples of what awaits at the intersection of artificial intelligence and culture, and how we work with our partners to make more culture available online. I invite you to discover all of that and much more in the Google Arts and Culture app. Thank you, and back to Prabhakar.
AI being used everywhere. Is he going to speak more about Bard?
Thanks, Marcia. Today, you saw how we are applying state-of-the-art AI technologies to make our information products more.
We have AI too, guys.
To create experiences that are as
Don't go to Bing
as the people who rely on them.
Please.
We call this making search more natural and intuitive. But for you, we hope that it means that when you next seek information, you won't be confined by the language it originated in. You won't be constrained to typing words in a search box. And you won't be beholden to a single way of searching. Although we are 25 years into search, I dare say that our story has just begun. We have
Search is
even more
changing.
exciting AI-enabled innovations in the works that will change the way people search, work, and play.
Well, they won't change it.
We're reinventing what it means
It's
to
already
search.
been changed by TikTok,
And the
and
best is yet to
possibly
come.
Bing will.
Thank you all. Merci.
Very good, though. Okay, so I'm just going to mute the music. I guess that's it. That's it. Comments were turned off. If I go back to me, hi. Wow. Okay. First of all, it wasn't the announcement that I was expecting. I felt actually it was quite low key. Not low key, but smaller than I thought. But I also kind of appreciate that, because when they go too grand and you have the, you know, the fake dancing on stage and the woo, yay, like we're Google, we're so happy. Oh, sorry, that just went into autoplay there or something. But I liked that it just cut all that and just straight into, we need to talk about our AI. This is how it's going to work with language, and that we're going to show you stuff regardless of what language it was written in. We can show it to you in your language. Now, we've already been told that by the search advocate team within Google for a long time. So that wasn't really new news. But certainly this idea that they have Google testers currently using, as he said, this version of Lambda, but that's kind of gone into Bard, and they're doing a kind of a smaller rollout, is of course interesting, but it's not anything other than what we were already told by Google. So Google did make definitely, it was a rushed announcement on the back of Microsoft's announcement that they would be integrating ChatGPT, or their better version of that, I think it is, into search results. I don't know that we actually got that. We just got that, you know, certain testers are testing it. And we actually got a bit of a pullback of like, you know, we have people testing it right now. We're going to see how that goes. We're very confident, but we're also going to be responsible. We're going to be ethical. I don't know that they use the word ethics, but definitely they used the word responsibility. So it's kind of a managing expectations. I think my second point would be, I felt they were a little arrogant. And you know what? Maybe they have the right to do so. They are Google. I mean, nobody beats them. So maybe they have every right to be arrogant. But to say that we will change the face of search, I disagree with that. I do think they are on the back foot at the moment. I think it's probably the first time that that's ever happened to them. I think that it started with TikTok. I think TikTok shocked them. I felt it took way too long for them to start showing short videos in Google search. And it does make me think that as a corporation, just the size of it maybe is what goes against it. Having said that, Microsoft is really big too, but they just got there first, right? They got there first. And I don't think Google can move that fast. And I don't think they want to. Oh, hi. Yes, the event's over. Hi, Indus. Yeah, there basically it was just the same as what they had already told us. So they already had said they had these, you know, testers that they had rolled out this Lambda/Bard AI search result engine too. And they just said the same thing verbally. I thought the presenter was nervous. I don't blame him. I actually genuinely think they've been caught on the back foot. I really, really do. What else? Yeah, they told us what we already knew. Bard. Let's go back to TikTok. Google identified TikTok. This is going a while back. This is long before Microsoft made their announcement and everything of the past few days. That's been quite dramatic. But a long time ago, Google had already identified TikTok, as did Facebook identify TikTok, as a major competitor and also a change in how people search. So where they used to be like the leading innovators, that they had to actually go, oh, somebody else is after changing. This is what they want to do. They would like to think that they change how people search. And this time they didn't. TikTok changed how people searched. So then in response, Google started indexing short videos. It released its own version on YouTube. So we have YouTube Shorts of vertical video. It also started showing short videos in search results. And it all took what I felt, it took far too long, like ages for them to kind of even try to get to grips with vertical video. So, and it was really important for them to kind of respond to that and to adapt quickly. Really important, because they said themselves, TikTok is a threat. Okay, well then why aren't you responding? Why is it taking you so long to show vertical video in search results, to have your own vertical video on YouTube? How long it took them to get vertical video on YouTube in itself is a disgrace. In itself. Like, they've only just started pushing in the past like year or two, really pushing YouTube Shorts. I mean, that is so incredibly late to the vertical video party. So, and now they've been pipped to the post by Google, or by, I was going to say Google. So Google has been pipped to the post by Bing. And that's incredible. Did we ever think we'd see that in 2023? Like, that Bing was going to be this amazing innovator and was going to get there before that they would release, you know, Microsoft owns ChatGPT. I think what they're running behind Bing is a better version even of that. Did we ever think, like, people today are downloading Microsoft Edge? I thought Microsoft browsers were dead. Dead. I did not think I would see a day when people would be downloading Microsoft browsers again. Genuinely, like, you know, because it's so hard to compete against Google because they have so many products. They have Maps, they have Google search results, they have YouTube, they have email, they have a browser. You know, it's so many things. And even I thought it was interesting to see the arts and culture person, because I was thinking this myself about the data set. So if we just talk about language learning models like ChatGPT and Bard, and then we think about data sets, why has nobody been able to compete against Google all these years? It's because Google has the superior data set. It's enormous. If I had an AI model and I started training it on just the data that I had, and it was like 10 things, my model is going to be shit. My model is not going to be good trained on my 10 little tiny bits of information on my hard drive, okay? When you train your AI on a data set, the size, or the just what Google has access to. This is why nobody's been able to beat Google for all these years in search results, because they have the data set that nobody else can match. And Bing has tried, and other browsers have tried. And they can't, just trying to rip away a little bit of market share from Google. It's never been able to happen because they have their finger in so many pies. All of their products are so tightly integrated. And to go back to the arts and culture person, and Google have been in trouble for this as well. They've kind of gone into gray areas when it comes to copyright and what they have or haven't the right to do. But I know there was a point where Google was scanning books and it was adding books in libraries to its collection, something along those lines. I can't fully remember what it was, but they tread into it. They go into a bit of a gray area. Having said that, though, they've done it now. They have access to certain pieces of information and data and books and things of historical significance, including art, like the little art presentation that was done there. Can Bing, like, does Bing have that data set? And that's where Google has kind of relied on their data set to be able to kind of hold onto this enormous market share all these years. And in a way, you could get complacent when you have that. Because why, I don't really need to work that hard because nobody can beat me anyway because I have this data set. And maybe that's where they've slipped a little bit in terms of innovation. And I hate saying that because I sound wrong, because everything that they announced in the presentation is so innovative, and it is. And their Maps product is incredible. Nobody can beat Google Maps. Nobody. But in other aspects, I think with the traditional search engine, it's slipping. It is slipping. And it's why they saw TikTok as a competitor. They think people don't want that traditional search anymore. And maybe they're right, but also they weren't actually pulling in enough things into search. And they were too slow to respond, very slow to respond. And if they were faster, if they incorporated more things, and they say they don't do this, and I'm sure they don't favor like Google products in search. But that doesn't mean that doesn't influence their decision-making internally, where they say, oh, well, we can't show a preference to YouTube Shorts over TikToks, let's say, because we'll get in trouble. But we may make a decision that actually maybe we don't want to show that much. We won't show vertical video until we have one that we can index. And maybe that's the kind of thinking that causes the delay. But that can be, a kind of, I want to say like a death spiral, because it wouldn't really be that. But it can be just this like downward decline, and in the meantime, these other competitors of yours, they're not going to be sitting on their laurels. They're going to recognize there's an opportunity and they're going to get it because they've been trying for a long time. Thank you so much. It was, there's not like that much to comment on. Thank you for leaving a comment. Yeah, there's like not even that much to comment on. It's a lot of what they said already, but it's just more my own thoughts on everything that's going to happen this year. It's going to be a really interesting year. Really, really interesting. Google is panicking. Thanks for that comment, Daversini. Yes, Google's panicking. Google's absolutely panicking. I think it's why the presenter was nervous. I always feel that too. Like if I'm speaking about something that I'm very confident and sure in, and like I'm ready and I'm organized, I wouldn't get nervous because I'm talking about something I'm so passionate about and I'm excited, and you would get nervous, but I think it's much harder when you've actually had to hurry something up that you weren't even ready to talk about yet. And that is essentially, I believe, what happened to Google. They weren't even ready to talk about this yet fully, and they've had to really scramble to get something out to take away some of this excitement about Microsoft. And Microsoft have great products, like, my husband's a programmer. They exclusively use Microsoft. People are on email for Microsoft as well. Microsoft Teams is great. Many businesses, everybody, using that. Bing has an opportunity. I really like Bing has an opportunity here with this chat version. I have even signed up myself onto the waiting list. So I think they said, if you use your Microsoft login to go onto the waiting list, you may get preference. So just to note that if you're going onto the wait list as well. But I'm excited because for a long time, I have just been waiting for, I don't know, it feels risky, right? I work with a lot of small businesses and they're so reliant on Google traffic. And you just always have that thing of like, if something went wrong, and it mightn't even be our fault, it might actually be the fault of Google. Like Google just makes a mistake and deranks the website. No fault of ours, let's say. That's like 95% of the search traffic gone because there is no competitor. Everything is coming from this one place, and it's not a good place to be in if you're a small business owner. You're too reliant on it. But let's say I could see that like half of the traffic is coming from Google and half of the traffic is coming from Bing. Well, if one of those search engines makes a mistake and, maybe something bad or whatever, and then we can fight to come back from it, but it's going to take a while, that kind of thing. Like everything is recoverable, but it's just a matter of time and what happened in investigating, right? But you can at least say, okay, that's bad. We're down on traffic from that search engine, but we have the other 50% from this one. So at least we're not going to zero here. It's too risky. Like, it's, you know, and there's another thing when it comes to SEO. And this is just the job, like the job of SEO. So it's our job to get websites to rank. And that has been exclusively in Google for the past decades. Like, it's just been rank in Google. That's it. That's all the customer wants. That's all anybody says. There is no other browser. And there's so little traffic from other browsers that your business will be reliant on that. And I think because SEO has changed so much over the years, so like SEO is so much more than like, oh, we're just trying to like trick Google or whatever. It's actually, we've been looking at websites and saying like, we need to make this website faster. We need to make this website have valuable content for people that come and visit. We need this website to, I don't know, be error-free, not don't have bugs in it, or pages going 404 that shouldn't be, or old content that's inaccurate. Like, it's such a, and that's not even everything that we do in SEO. Like, there's a huge list of things that you do in SEO. And people are really freaking out because every year there's this SEO is dead. So if you Google SEO is, I bet you if you put in a space, it's, or SEO is dead and you put a space, there's literally SEO is dead 2020, SEO is dead 2021, SEO is dead 2022. And now we have SEO is dead 2023. But now people are really feeling it in their bones that it is. Because they feel that this particular, what we're seeing in the screenshots and everything of Bard from the, you know, whatever Google has released, and obviously they have testers using it. The way that Bard is constructing the answer in search, it is appearing like a featured snippet. So we love featured snippets in SEO. We want to get those. Google gives you the answer at the top and they give a link to your website underneath. You might not get a huge amount of traffic from the featured snippet because people got the answer in the small bit, but at least maybe they saw your URL, or they get your name, maybe the name of your company is in the URL, or, you know, but you get all those impressions. You know that Google likes your website. You know that Google found your website had helpful content. And because there's helpful content in their algorithm, now your whole website actually gets pulled up a level. So that's been a really worthwhile thing to do on your website. Now, that featured snippet will be essentially, that area is going to be generated by Bard. So you'll now get, I type something, I got the instant answer, but now that's being presented as unique, quote unquote, content generated by Bard as an answer. Now, for the Bing kind of version of this, in their search results, they actually put citations down at the bottom. So if their AI, whatever they're training it on, whatever websites, you know, whatever they're training it on, they generate the answer, and then underneath you can see links to websites that they've basically, the AI has used something that it took from each of those websites, that it's created its own bit of content, but then it's attributing where it was trained from or where it pulled this information from underneath. That's very smart of Bing, because that doesn't piss us off. You know, genuinely, that's all it is. Like, it's just, and maybe it's a legal thing. Maybe they are preempting, you know, that people are going to wonder about plagiarism. They're going to wonder, like, how reworded is the AI piece of content? Is it taking like a half sentence or a full sentence from something that I found online? Even if it's a half sentence, but what if it's the same? What if it's a half sentence multiple times from the same article taken from somewhere else? Is that okay? But is that plagiarism? And now if you put no credit, so this is the difference with Google. From the screenshots we're seeing with Google, we are not seeing attribution, or where, like, wherever the AI was inspired in creating their content. Can you call it unique content? The AI has rewritten what it's seen around the internet? Is that unique? Should you put in an attribute for wherever you got the important points or the most information? Should you be putting something to say, hey, here's your click? Now, in today's announcement, I did think that was interesting. He almost referred to that exact point, but in a more vague term, but I did think it touched on it, where he was like, something along the lines of like, we don't want to piss people off, we're going to try and do it the right way. To me, if you're going to try and do it the right way, you've got to build it the same way Bing has, and you've got to put in those attributions. Because I think he did mention something about still sending traffic to people's websites. And I thought it was interesting that he touched on that. And I hope it means that that is on their radar and that they are aware that like all of these years, we've had this agreement with Google that we are happy to kind of bend over backwards to give you amazing content, helpful content. And in return, we want a click. You know, and if we don't get a click anymore, we're probably going to recommend people to use other browsers that will give us a click. And not a threat thing, but just a community thing. You know, communities drive, like people who work in SEO, people who are non-tech savvy, they may ask us, what's the best search engine? And we might not recommend Google anymore. Would it make a difference? I have no idea, but I think it would make some difference. It would make some difference. So like we have to get that click. We have to get that click. That's the agreement. The golden life of Caesar 3D Maps thing is cool. Very cool. Loved that. Nobody beats Google Maps. Like literally nobody. Agreed. Thank you. Voyager, welcome. The Bing one looks like it's based off OpenAI's WebGPT. Yeah. Something like that. Voyager, thank you. Elaborating. It basically uses a text-based browser to search the web and summarize a specific page or cite a particular source. Yes. Yeah. And it looks like as well, they can present both, like the traditional results are displayed here, normal, traditional, what you're used to. And then you can have the chat GPT or whatever they're using is on the right-hand side. So like they're going to maybe run both alongside each other for a while, which I also think that's just a smart way to do it too, for just releasing it into the wild. Just to give people the option. And I suppose they can track then, okay, have people gone for the traditional thing or have they gone over to the chat one? Xavier, we was expecting Bard. Yes, we were. We just got the same announcement that we already had from yesterday. So same thing. Rohit, is blogging dead after that? No, blogging will never be dead. As long as people need websites, they need blogs. It's as simple as that. Users, even if there was no such thing as a search engine, your customers or your potential customers like to come into your website and see something new and something helpful and something, you know, you can put videos into your blogs, like embed videos in. It's nice for people. You can use it as content across social media. You can link your blog across social media. You could use your video, like you can make a video out of your blog, which AI actually is very useful for as well. I use Lumen 5. It like makes videos out of your blogs, which is a really nice use of AI as well. I'm putting the question mark so I knew. Thanks. So Xavier, but the power of this visual representation thing is like the capacity to drive Midjourney to produce something very, very specific. The power of the, is like the capacity to drive Midjourney to produce something very, Yes, it is a powerful thing. I always have a thing. They love doing all the Google Lens stuff in these Google presentations. I've rarely used it. I literally used it maybe like yesterday or the day before because I have a tree in the garden that I didn't know what it was. and I just used it for the leaf, and it did immediately identify the tree, which was amazing. And it was correct, like it was accurate. So I was like, wow, that's amazing. But I probably won't use that feature now for like another year or 2 years. So I don't know, they're great. I'm sure other people are using those the kind of Google Lens more stuff than I am. I don't use it that much. Rohit, you're worried. Don't be worried. Don't be worried. Not about blogging. Blogging is always, honestly, I've seen amazing things over the years with blogs. Like my husband is a magician, and he doesn't do SEO. He doesn't know anything about, he knows some stuff from hearing me, but not really. It's not really on his radar. And he subscribed to a blogger. There's an engine called Ghost. And basically kind of like there's Substack and there's Medium and all this stuff. But I think this was built on Ghost CMS. And he literally was paying each month just to be able to read some private blogs, because it's quite handy for magic too, because it's quite secretive. So you had to pay to kind of see maybe some of things that only magicians should be able to read. And I thought that was so cool. And that has absolutely nothing to do with Google or SEO. That can be done through social media. The thing is, we have to remember too, that if Bing are doing it the way that they seem to be with attribution, you may get like a lot of traffic from Bing. And also people may move to Bing. So this is what we have to like remember and prepare for, that like, yes, Google might do it the wrong way. And let's say we start seeing like falling traffic to blogs in Google because it's just basically taking whatever content and just making its own answer. People may move to Bing as well. But I think there is going to be upheaval. Like, I don't want to say there isn't going to be upheaval. And especially for blogging, I think, yes, there will be. But I think there's been upheaval for a long time in blogging. Like, there's things that have happened that have made it so much easier, like social media and like being able to set up subscription models, and people being willing to enter into that is like incredible, because for years, bloggers didn't know how to even monetize their blogs, and affiliate links and all that stuff that people are able to do. So I think there's ups and downs when you're a blogger. I think we have to wait and see what's going to happen. But I think blogging is wider than SEO as well. So in that sense, I think it has some resiliency. Kidu, you're joking, right? SEO is dead. Yeah. People say this every year. SEO was dead last year as well. And SEO was also dead the year before that. And it's literally every year SEO is dead. So who knows? I think what I would like to see out of this is, SEO not being dead, but SEO actually being distributed across Google and Bing, and maybe other search engines too. I mean, if it's Bing's opportunity, then maybe there's opportunity there for other smaller search engines as well. Xavier, online relevance will reshape into personal relevance. Yep. And I think authorship is like a big deal. I know that CNET started generating articles on their website using AI. This is more now on the generation of content. So this is to kind of on both sides, right? So Google and Bing are using the AI language models to generate content to show us search results. But we can also use these models to generate content. And this is where I think personal relevance kicks in, because on the CNET website, they don't have an author. So like, how do you put authorship if something is written by the AI? So you can either say like they have a disclaimer now where they say it was written by AI, I think. And they put the actual author as like, CNET Money Team, or they just kind of put like a generic, it wasn't a name, it was just a generic author, but not a name. So this is another thing for blogging. I think just make sure that on your blog articles, you're showing that you are a human writer, and you have a little picture there, and you're linking into your about page, and you're like letting people know my articles are written by me, Hillary Quinn. you know? And I think that's going to be something that's important. What happened with the CNET one was that it was meant to go through the same editorial process that the human written articles go through. And this is a psychological thing that I thought was so interesting. The editors basically didn't edit the AI articles in the same way they did the human ones. So they were more critical of the human ones and would put it through an edit. But when it was AI generated, it seemed like there was more trust, or they just automatically thought, okay, that's fine, I don't really need to read over it, publish. And it was only afterwards that people who were reading the article started discovering inaccuracies and reporting them back to CNET, at which point they had to reassess what they were doing, which they did. But I thought there was an interesting psychological phenomenon there where they trusted the AI so much that they weren't like looking over them properly before they got published. But if it was a human, they did. And I thought that was so interesting how much why we trust AI over humans is fascinating to me that happened. Just it's like the psychology of it, really. Kidu, thank you for the comment. ChatGPT got to 100 million users within 2 months with zero traditional marketing. Yeah, ChatGPT is insane. It's crazy. Like it's incredibly powerful. It's obviously what we've needed for a long time as well. Like as just humans, we've actually needed, without really knowing that we needed it that much, we've needed something that would just speak to us in our own language in like a natural way. And that's interesting too, that we were craving that somehow and we didn't know it until we saw it and went, oh my God, we've needed this for so long. So it's no surprise that Bing is, integrating that into their search model, because it's what we wanted. It's what we needed. We didn't know it until we saw it. And now we realize that, yes, this is what search should be. Now, I still have my critique on how they're implementing it. I just think the word plagiarism needs to be, I don't know that it needs to be applied, but it needs to be some way there of like, I don't know, just studies need to be done to see. And I know people have already actually done studies, because there already has been a study that I was reading about where it had taken half sentences of one piece written by one person and just used all of them in their generated, AI content. And when you get to the point that could be recognizable, the other thing is they have their own tool that recognizes content generated by them. There's zero GPT. So I think that zero GPT is actually made by the same people that made ChatGPT, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure, but they basically have, this is you generating it, and this is how we can tell if it was generated. Now, I've heard varying reports on the accuracy of zero GPT. So some people think it's really accurate and they've fed it in content that was generated and it's correctly identified, and then they've edited it enough to be like, oh, it's not now, or whatever. But then other people have fed it like Taylor Swift lyrics, and it has said that those lyrics are AI generated, which isn't true. So yeah, hard to say. But yeah, it's incredible. The growth in ChatGPT is like insane. So Rohit, can we drive traffic from social media on AdSense website to earn revenue? On AdSense, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like using Google Ads to send to social media? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be I'm kind of more the organic results and stuff like that. So while I dabble in kind of social media and stuff like that, I wouldn't be 100 million% the expert for that. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to give advice on that particular question. Sorry about that, Rohit, but thanks everybody for all the comments. So I'm probably going to wind it down. Thanks everybody for joining in. It's amazing to get all the comments. It was an interesting presentation from Google, but not really anything that we didn't know already. But certainly, I think the conversation is not going to stop around, what these AI models are being trained on, whether attributions or credit needs to be given to authors that they are, sampling. In a way, the word sample is good too, because you get this in music. People use samples in music and they feel like they have the right to use it because they made their own unique song. They just took this one sample. But actually you can get sued for using a sample without permission, and you can lose if you go to court. And the other person can actually say, actually, you need to pay me for using that sample. And I think this could be a similar, actually, kind of a situation. Again, this is if Bard stays in its current iteration, which looks like it doesn't have any attribution. The big model does. The big model does have attribution. And just another note to say, we all have influence. And whatever happens with all of this, whether it suits us or doesn't suit us, it needs to benefit people who own websites. Otherwise, our deal is off. We give you good content, you give us a click. If that's no longer the arrangement, then the deal is off. And we just remember that we have influence in our own spheres and online and everywhere. That even, whatever direction this takes, we can try and steer it to the one that benefits the people who run websites that need traffic to go to those websites, and especially small business owners. It's got to benefit everybody. And the internet's for everyone. The internet is not for, big tech to kind of eat it up and regurgitate it and take all of our work and give us nothing in return. I don't think that was the deal. We've got to get something back out of it ourselves. So we'll just try and remember we have influence, so we can do stuff. But we'll keep an eye. We'll keep an eye on it. And thanks, everybody. Thanks, Rohit. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you all joining in. Give the channel a subscribe if you feel like it. I'll be around whenever drama happens. I'll try and do some more broadcasting. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.